Hey y'all, welcome to the Talk Shiitake podcast. We're here at the amazing Leaven Kitchen and Resource Center in Decatur, Georgia. If this is your first time here, please stay a while and definitely give us a follow, like, subscribe to our page. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Again, please stay a while as well. Don't forget to hit that like button down at the bottom of the video. So my name is Fern, the operations director here at Leaven Kitchen, and we're gonna be coming at you weekly with our podcast, again, Talk Shiitake, where we're gonna talk about food news of the week. We're gonna meet some of our amazing Leaven members, do some demos on some of our equipment that we have here at Leaven, and also some tips and tricks. So here at Leaven Kitchen, we have quite a few people who make plant-based foods, right? The immediate thing that we think about are vegan manufacturers or people who make vegan food or whatever it is, right? And then of course you have the slutty vegan restaurants of the world or the Impossible Burgers at Burger King. All of that sort of falls under that plant-based system. So the FMI, or rather the Food Industry Association, has recently released a report where they describe as the first ever comprehensive review of the plant-based topic, right? So they address things that are plant-based, such as fruits, vegetables, beans, whole grains, along with alternatives to those animal-derived foods. You know, you quickly think of those Impossible Burgers or that meat that isn't quite beef, right, or meat-based. But one thing you often don't think about are your almond milks or your nut-based milks, right? That's also part of that. So part of this study is, and according to their analysis, quote, more than 40% of the shoppers at least occasionally eat a meat, dairy, or seafood alternative. But of those shoppers, dairy alternatives were more than twice of those meat alternatives, end quote. So really what they're saying is a lot of people are starting to drink alternatives to milk or starting to get alternatives to meat-based products. So, and that's 40% or 4 in 10 people, right? So, you know, they've either dabbled in it or have ordered something meat alternative, whatever it is. So yeah, so it really seems like this segment is only gonna continue to grow. I'd say a good chunk, even here at Leaven Kitchen, of our members are sort of plant-based, whether it's meal prep, things of that nature. In fact, one of our very own members, they're known as Pecan Milk. They actually make a pecan-based milk. You know, whether it's chocolate milk, regular milk. So they do quite a few different things, and they've been scaling out as well here recently. So yeah, it's for me, it's, you know, as a sort of nerd in general and a food nerd, I think it's exciting to watch this segment grow. I'm personally not vegan or vegetarian, although my stomach could probably benefit from that, right? But it's really cool to see sort of this grow and people be able to branch out and sort of become a norm.
Hey guys, it's more Ash, of course, from the Gumbo Radio Show and Hits 92.3, and I am live right here for another episode of Talk Shiitake at Leaven Podcast. So I'm here with another amazing member of our kitchen by the name of Nicole from Whisked Away. So talk to us a little bit about Whisked Away. It's like a tongue twister for me. I don't know why it's coming off the tip of my tongue like a roller. But Whisked Away, talk to us about the company, a little bit about how you got started, what you do, and the products that you serve.
Perfect. It's a tongue twister for me too, and I came up with the name, so don't worry. We are a mostly pre-made meals. That's how we started. I started in the middle of the pandemic, as one does, starts a business. And it was, I think, what was needed at the time. It's not necessarily how I would have started my business had it not been for that. People were tired of meal kits. They didn't want to cook anymore. Their kids are screaming and throwing things. And so this is a heat it and eat it situation. No muss, no fuss, very little pans. You can eat it out of the container, so you don't even need plates. It's all, or as much local and fresh ingredients as I can. So I'm at farmers markets every weekend, getting wholesale farmers, trying to support the local community. I also do private chef dinners.
Awesome.
They'll come to your house, they'll do events, heavy hors d'oeuvres, dinner party, whatever you want to do. which I love doing. You get to kind of meet people and
In a
get to
private
know
setting,
them.
too.
Yeah, and it's in their home, so they're comfortable.
Intimate.
Kind of experience new things with them and share new foods that they might not have tried in a restaurant
Before.
Yeah. I also do a lot of things. I get bored very easily.
Okay, talk to us. Tell us what you do.
I do corporate lunches, like box lunches.
Love that.
But fancy box lunches, obviously. So any big event that you have, team meeting, client meeting, anything like that, we can do your lunches. I also just started as of a month and a half ago now, I think. Wholesale.
Okay.
So we're in a couple of markets around town and working on expanding that.
That's awesome. Really
And
awesome.
hopefully that'll be enough for now.
Yeah, you seem to get bored
It's
quickly,
just me.
so
So yes.
you seem to keep yourself pretty busy with ideas, which is really
I
good
do.
though. How do you come up with your menu, your items that you're going to sell? Even like if you're doing like your catering events, is that something where you kind of talk to the people and see what they're looking for, and you create something, or you give them ideas? How does that work?
Both. So I usually ask them if they have a theme that they're wanting or a cuisine that they're wanting. My go-to is always Italian. I lived in Italy for a year, so I studied there for a bit, and it's just like part of my heart is Italy. So
Gotcha.
I'm always going to push Italian on people, but not everybody wants Italian.
Yeah, I love Italian
I mean, who doesn't? If you don't, I think you're kind of crazy. But yeah, so I just try to do something fun. I kind of see if they're adventurous, if they want to try some new things. And then we just go from there, and it just sort of, it's like a collaboration a little bit. I mean, I give them ideas if they just have no idea, or if they have some ideas, I maybe steer them in a different direction if they're not great ideas
Yeah.
or could be elevated a little bit.
I gotcha.
And then in terms of like the weekly meals, I just learned because I had to count them for tax purposes. I have 108 cookbooks. So I'll take days and I'll just put them all on the floor and just like look through everything. And then it's also usually what I feel like eating that week. Is
Whatever
what's on
your
the menu.
personal cravings are. That's funny.
My mood is my cravings are very mood dependent.
Okay.
So the weekly meal changes every single week. There's at least 6 options, some vegetarian, some vegan, some gluten-free, just by
Whatever you come
Yeah.
up with that week.
Exactly.
What about like, okay, so like when people are doing corporate events or like big catering events, say like 200 or something like that, are you like, okay, this is what I'm able to provide, or is it one of those things where they can kind of get wild with it? Because that's a lot of production, you know?
Yes. So I'm not technically a catering company.
Okay.
I can drop off for those events.
I gotcha.
But I'm not, technically I can't serve. It's
Serve
like
it.
a
I
weird
gotcha.
gray line most people understand, I don't, but I just get told, yes, you can do this, and no, you
No,
cannot.
you can't. I gotcha.
But no, I definitely kind of rein them in a little bit. I mean, if they have the budget, go wild.
Yeah.
I can hire staff, I can work it, I can do all that, but most people don't. Most people are on a budget.
Yeah, I
So,
gotcha, especially
gotta-
nowadays.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what we have in front of us today. I know that they were already refrigerated, which is fine, but we have black bean burgers here, right?
Yes.
How are these prepared and what's included?
They are actually one of my favorite things. I just started at Lucy's Market in Buckhead doing these, and I have never made so many black bean burgers in my
Really?
life. They sell so fast.
Wow.
They have black beans, broccoli, mushrooms, some eggs, a little bit of panko. They can be made without panko, so technically it can be gluten-free. Just
Okay.
helps to have a little bit of a binder. And a couple of other fun ingredients. And then they're baked with a little bit of olive oil. So they're super healthy. I actually eat them for myself at home as is. I don't even need a bun or anything. But yeah, you just use them as a regular burger, and they're packed full of protein, and they're really tasty. And then over here we have granola bars, which I never thought that I would do granola bars.
They look really good, by the way. They look chewy. Are they chewy?
They are.
Okay, they look
They
chewy.
are.
Okay.
I made them in a kid snack pack when I
Okay.
first started. Mom requested some kid snack packs for a play date they were having, and so I made homemade granola bars because she didn't want anything super sweet. And now I make about 8 to 10 dozen every week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
They do good numbers. Awesome.
I could hire somebody just to make granola bars and black bean burgers, honestly.
Wow. But two biggest sellers, basically, or would you say?
So the weekly meals are different for the wholesale right now. The black bean burgers, definitely the biggest seller, and then the granola bars. Every single person I give them to wants them.
Yeah.
So.
How do they come? Like, how do they come in 5s or 10s? Are they?
They come in half dozen or dozens. I don't think I've sold a half dozen in a very long time.
Yeah,
Everybody
most of them
buys them in dozens,
Okay.
or
Is this a
2
dozen?
dozen.
Is this a dozen of them?
That is, I'm not sure. That's just leftovers
Oh,
that
okay.
I crammed into a box.
Do they come in individually packaged, or do they come like this?
They come in like a brown craft box with, they come cuter with a little
gotcha.
window and stuff like that.
Say cuter.
Everything has to be cute.
No worries.
Otherwise,
I love
it's
it.
not on
Sorry.
brand.
I love it.
These are just storage.
That's okay though. It's good for the visual though,
Yes.
to give us an idea.
Yeah,
of,
you
like,
eat
what
with
you
your
do.
eyes first.
So, how do people see you in person and purchase like now? Like, so I want it hot, fresh, just like when you made it. Where do I go to find Nicole?
You hire me for a dinner party.
So no pop-up shops, no vending events,
not
nothing
right
like that.
now. My weekly meals are pre-order. So
Gotcha.
like this week you would order and the delivery is next Tuesday. So they are made fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So they're made on Mondays and Tuesdays. So if you get them delivered on Tuesday, technically you have a hot meal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything freezes well and refrigerates for multiple days. But no, I'm not doing, since it is just me, I'm already, and I do a lot of things.
Yeah,
I'm already a little pulled in a lot of directions, which is my own doing. But I haven't done any pop-up events yet.
Gotcha, no
But
worries.
hopefully in the future.
I do have one last question, or
Of course.
one other question regarding it's more of a statement. So I remember when you said like it's like a pop and go type of a
Heat it and eat it.
Yeah, heat it and eat it
Yep.
type of an entree. So I love the idea of like a fresh TV dinner. You know what I mean? So it's like it's fresh. It's not hasn't even been frozen yet. But even if it has been refrigerated or frozen, like you said, it's all been cooked or prepared in that past week. So technically, it's still a fresh meal.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't sit
feel
in
like
the fridge
it's so
longer
much
than 1 day.
different than just having, your any name you want to think of, meal that's been in there frozen for 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. So I definitely like the idea of that, and just like the whole idea of just eating more fresh, eating more healthy. I think a lot of people are starting to navigate to that and starting to kind of live those type of healthier lifestyles, especially as you get older. So these are all good, very healthy options to have too.
Yeah.
Do you have any unhealthy options?
I mean, I do, for sure. I was actually, before I started my business, I was a pastry chef for like 12
Okay.
years.
That's
so
my thing. I like pastries.
there are definitely desserts on every weekly menu. There are sides and entrees, family style plus individuals. And I always say that because it's from scratch and I don't buy, everything is made from scratch. So if it's not quote unquote healthy, it's healthy for your soul. And I think that's equally as important.
I love that.
So, I mean,
Yeah, everybody has to cheat a little bit.
Yeah, just, have one cookie and not 6.
Exactly, which is hard to do, but I'm with you, Nicole.
I have people that order individual desserts because they're like, if I order more, I will eat them
I'll
all.
eat it. Mm-hmm. True. So you got to know yourself. You got to discipline yourself.
Yeah, I put things in the freezer.
I do too. I freeze a lot. It's ridiculous.
Especially sweets.
Yeah, me too. I just froze some sweet potato pie the other day. It's like, yeah, I'm going to freeze this for later because otherwise it's going to get eaten really like right now.
Yes.
Tell everybody how they can find you, how they can book you, your social handles, and then how do they reach you directly?
So I have a website. It is whiskawayatl.com. And there that will lead you to my weekly ordering site, which is also on Instagram at whiskawayatl. And that takes you directly to the ordering site. You can book corporate lunches. You can set up wholesale accounts. It has everything.
Awesome.
I have an amazing team.
Awesome.
I am technologically
Well, I
inept.
heard a little birdie say something about the power of your marketing, so I might have to learn a thing or two from you, Nicole.
It's not me, it's my team, honestly.
Well, you're a team.
Yes, they are incredible. I would be lost because
That's
I can't.
awesome.
Technology hates me.
Well, everybody needs a team for sure. That's awesome.
It takes a village.
My last and final question for you. Talk to me a little bit about how you became a Leaven Kitchen member and what your experience has been like since you've been working out of the shared kitchen space.
I love it. I was in a shared kitchen, technically in a shared kitchen when I first started, because you have to be. But I didn't use it. They didn't have ovens. They didn't have stoves. So it was more like prep. So it was doing,
Gotcha.
it just wasn't convenient. And then I'm actually in a business group, and a member of my group was and now is again the insurance person for Leaven. So he knew Lauren, and he mentioned this place, and we came by, and I visited and met with Fern and gave me a tour, and I was like, I'm sold. I'm in. They have every piece of equipment that I could ever want, and then some. So I have been thrilled. It is, I mean, I don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I constantly need more storage, but that's a me thing, not a them thing.
Look, that's the story of any, I feel like, woman's life. I need more storage everywhere, in life, period.
It's unbelievable.
Well, look, I would like to thank you for being a guest on our Talk Shiitake Leaven Kitchen podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You guys make sure you follow, find, and support Miss Nicole, of course, with Whisk Away. And make sure you get some of these granola bars. Check out her bean burgers, black bean burgers, and all of the other amazing items that she has to offer, and her prep meal packs, and her catering, and everything else that she does, by the way, all right? We want to thank you again. This has been another amazing Leaven Kitchen episode, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another Talk Shiitake demo segment where we're gonna talk today about a pretty popular device just in most kitchens, even some home kitchens, but you've probably seen this guy before if you've been around a kitchen. It's called the Vitamix Blender, right? This specific model is called the Vita Prep. And what we're gonna do today is just make a simple triple berry smoothie. Uses real simple ingredients. I'll show you guys what we're using as I add them here shortly. But first we will just wanna talk about a couple different components of the Vitamix mixer itself. So again, it's currently really the go-to blender in most commercial kitchens. It's known as the Vita Prep, right? And it runs off of a dual horsepower motor. So there's a couple horsepowers in here for you, and they can actually spin, believe it or not, at 39,000 RPM, or in other words, go about 232 miles per hour. So really the go-to blender, again, if you're making product, and you're making a lot of it as well. So this, the container, your typical container that comes with most of them, is a 64 ounce or an 8-cup container. There is a nice stainless steel blade in there. And what I personally like about this product is if my container starts to get gross or worn out and I'm ready to get another one and the blade is okay, then they make it real simple to just remove the blade, get another container, or even vice versa, right? If I just need to get a new blade, my container is okay. They're both hot swappable and replaceable. You also have your lid here. Again, pretty straightforward there. It sort of snaps on. But it does come with a cool option where, kind of like what we looked at if you're familiar with our video showing our food processors, you can feed this guy as you go. But there's also another attachment we don't have that sort of lets you sort of, for lack of a better term, push down the product onto the blade as it's running. So if your product is sort of coming up and creeping up and you want to make sure all your nice big bits get nice and pureed and the like, then you're able to push them down with that. It's sort of a handle, and it goes right in the middle there. But yeah, this guy will allow you to chop, grind, puree, mix, blend, emulsify, pretty much anything, right? Sky's the limit. Your milkshakes, your margaritas, smoothies, even purees, and then the bowl really is designed to prevent any leakage or anything like that. Again, it does have a hardened stainless steel cut blade, making it nice and simple for you to do your thing. But pretty simple here. There's no turning or anything you have to do. You sort of just set it right in place. There's little grooves down at the underside of the blade that's going to sort of hold it and allow that blade to spin. But again, we're making a triple berry smoothie here. Pretty simple ingredients. So we have in this container, these were actually just frozen blueberries. So we have a frozen fruit just in general. So we have a half a cup of frozen blueberries, a half a cup of frozen raspberries, and also half a cup of frozen strawberries. So you simply just put all those in there for you in your blender for your mixture. You're then gonna wanna add half a cup of water for this specific recipe. And then yogurt is part of this smoothie recipe. Definitely for this one, make sure you're not getting plain yogurt. You want a little bit of flavor there. So this is just sort of your original vanilla flavored yogurt. Low-fat yogurt is really what it calls for as well. So along with those raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries, there also is half a cup of grapes in here as well. So we went ahead, added half a cup of yogurt, pretty much equal parts of everything. Half a cup of water, half a cup of yogurt, half a cup of your fruit, and now we're ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and put the lid right on this guy. Depending on your model, the lid will turn and sort of hold it into place, which is nice. But again, you don't have to really turn the base itself. Now you're ready to go. So just to show you real quick, a couple features on here, or a couple settings, is you have your sort of speed setting here. You have, it's pretty simple, right? A stop and a play. The play, as you can see, is gonna start the machine for me. And then you have your speed setting right in the middle. So the bottom there is sort of where you wanna start as you go. So just have this guy switched down. And then as you pull up, it's gonna go nice and quick for me. And then again, you can adjust your speed as you go here, and then on and off. So go ahead and place this guy on here. For this purpose, I don't need to add anything in there, so I'm just gonna put the lid on, and I'm gonna fire her right up. As you can see, even on the slow setting, it's gonna emulsify pretty much all that for you. Really simple to make a smoothie in this guy. But from there, you wanna start off slow, then I'm gonna kick it up and just let it do its thing in the quick setting. I just wanna make sure you can hear me. And I don't start talking if I'm not supposed to, right? So as you can see, guys, this thing packs a lot of power in a small unit. Definitely great for making, again, those smoothies, those purees. You can do quite a bit in here. That blade will actually chop and the like for you as well. And then from there, once you're done, and it's reached sort of the consistency that you're looking for, just pour your smoothie and you're good to go, ready to move on to your next recipe. So once again, thanks for joining me here at the Talk Shiitake podcast for another equipment demonstration. Just made a smoothie for you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Catch us next week for another episode where we'll go over another piece of cool kitchen tech or cool kitchen equipment. All right, y'all, this has been the Talk Shiitake podcast here at Leaven Kitchen. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today and talking some shiitake with me and Ash. Please join us every week where we're going to talk about more news, some tech. I'm a big tech nerd, so I like to talk about anything tech, and that includes food tech as well. So come on back every week. We're going to be uploading these every Monday for your enjoyment and also for your education as well. Maybe you didn't know how to use, some of the equipment that we've gone over today, and maybe you'll learn something. I want to thank our guest today for joining us. And letting us talk about you and your business and really what Leaven means to you, so we can continue to improve, of course, but also so you, our viewers, can buy their products. We have so many different businesses that we'll be featuring every week. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and then come back and join us next week for more of the Talk Shiitake podcast.